Big one coming in through outer the Villa Park, a stadium that capacitates 42,640 and 40 people. It is the time for the lineups to be out, and they're already out, and we're here to obviously bring to you exactly what you guys really think everything is going to be about this fixture. Ten Hag is going to hate to name his starting 11. The same applies to the man himself. And who is the man himself? That is Unai Emery, the manager of Aston Villa, who says, I've gonna hate to forget exactly what happened at Old Trafford like a month back when we went ahead to torment them when we beat them by 3 goals to 2. Remember, they led that game of football by 2 goals to 0, and we pulled 2 back, and then Rasmus Højlund scored the winner into the dying minutes of the game. A huge update coming in through from West Ham, having gone ahead to obviously lose to Man United by how many goals? By 3 goals to 0 at Old Trafford. Man United, Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously put 6 past the side of West Ham right now, and they still have close to 15 minutes to play for that game to come to an end. But Man United is obviously pushing forward and doing the needful, and that's really exciting, and that's what is happening at the side of Man United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. We all love you, and we keep it a point every time you guys are always here. So let's get going. Right, and let's go into the starting 11 for the club of Man United as we thank God for the gift of life. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now we are having the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and we thank Allah for everything that's going to do for you, and we call upon for the divine protection of Allah anytime you really need it. Now Man United, I've gone ahead to name their starting 11: Andre Onana, Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Højlund, Alejandro Garnacho, Casemiro, Rafael Varane, Diego Dalot, Luke Shaw, and Kobbie Mainoo. When you look at the bench, there is Ben Dayer, there is Evans, there is Lindelof, Amad Diallo, Amrabat, Eriksson, Fosun, McTominay, and Anthony. That is the team of Man United that is going to hit to come in through and obviously get enough into the side of the Midlands where Aston Villa really resides, and they are going to be facing the side of Manchester United, and obviously captained by the side of, so captained by the Man United side. Let's go to the Aston Villa team. Martinez, Cash, Diego Carlos, Lenglet, Alex Moreno, McGinn, Kamara, Douglas Luiz, J. Ramsey, Bailey, Watkins. So that is the team of Aston Villa that's going to hit coming through and really be fronted by their manager. That is Unai Emery. Substitutes: Olsen, Yuri Tielemans, Digne, Pau Torres, Diaby, Zaniolo, Rogers. There is Nesla Hayden and Arowe Goren. I don't see Morganini here for you, but obviously it's really good to note that it's really a very good kind of lineup, and they're really having some good quality. But I think this time round our quality is gonna surpass the quality for the side of Aston Villa. When you look at the starting 11 of Man United, Ten Hag is gonna hate to obviously name 10 players that started in the game of West Ham, and 10 players that went ahead to start in the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I think 10 players that are started in the game of Newport, meaning that all what he told you was right, that all I have to do is to get in the required players to feature into my team, and then consistency will be really put into action. And we're going to hit to say to that, if it has not been the injury of Lisandro Martinez, Eric Ten Hag would have gone ahead to name the same lineup that went ahead to play against West Ham at Old Trafford. And this is where people really got it wrong always, because all of those games we've gone ahead to play with almost 95% of our team back. We've gone ahead to play very well, and a lot has gone ahead to be put into action. So that is it coming in from Eric Ten Hag, and let's see how we are going to line up as a side of Manchester United. Now, Andre Onana is in goal. He has gone ahead to keep 7 clean sheets at the club of Man United in the Premier League, and we wait to see whether he continues with his run of keeping the same number of clean sheets. That is really one of the things that we're really waiting for, to see to it that he puts it back in action. But I anticipate he's going to be having a really beautiful game, and he's going to really condense that pressure. And Aston Villa was beaten by Chelsea. If Chelsea beat them in the midweek, yet we are really having a better squad than Chelsea, cohesion is really nice, why don't we go ahead and obviously give them a beating of their lives, and obviously see to it that we close down those points to 5. Dalot, right back, we knew to it that is going to be really the right back in the action, and I would love to see him really put in 5 crosses, averaging 3 every half. And if Adol can get us 6 crosses into the 18 yards box area, targeting Rasmus Højlund or any other midfielder making the late run into the box, that will be great. Luke Shaw coming in through to play as the left back for the club of Man United. And I tell you, Luke Shaw should do the same like Dalot. If he can average 3 crosses per half, targeting our forwards in the 18 yards box area, that will be great, because that's what we've always not going to hate to do in the games that we saw ourselves not scoring in goals. And you saw to it that in all the games we've gone ahead to play this year, or this calendar year, you've seen these players really doing the needful crosses, assists, and making the third man run, making those secondary assists, third assist passes. That is really important for us to note about this left back for the side of Man United, and the right back, that is Diego Dalot, to do the needful. As I told you, that Rafael Varane and Harry Maguire are going to come in through and really play into this beautiful game of football, meaning that the manager has gone ahead to gain a lot of trust for Harry Maguire, and it's something that we never went ahead to obviously notice, but finally the manager has come upon to see to it that when Harry Maguire returned from injury, he was on bench for the 2 games of West Ham and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then he started the game of West Ham, meaning that the manager is really having him in high spirits. And I won't really not talk about the form that Harry Maguire had before he really got injured. He was really looking good, and he was doing interceptions, and that's why the man is going to bring him through. But the biggest confidence I'm having this central defense is that Rafael Varane is in, because I know what Rafael Varane can really offer on the night. Command, because sometimes you need a leader in every department, and in that back 5 of Onana, Dalot, Harry Maguire, Varane, and Luke Shaw, the supreme leader is none other than Rafael Varane, and I anticipated that they are going to keep this guy Ole Watkins out of the game. Double pivot case, Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro. I think for the 4th game in a row, Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro have gone ahead to obviously play into that double pivot. The chemistry is really building up, and this is what Ten Hag really wanted. A player that can carry the ball and having physicality, playing alongside Casemiro into that midfield. And we've always gone ahead to lose very many midfield battles when you're playing the sides of Aston Villa, but this time around we are coming with a double pivot that has proven very effective this season every time they've gone ahead to play together. So Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro never played the game. That double pivot never played the game of Aston Villa, where we beat them by 3 goals to 2. It was Eriksson and Kobbie Mainoo. Now we are having a Casemiro who came in through and really put in an assist. That was a very good interception for the first goal scored against West Ham, and I think the control is really gonna be over the sleeve, because these two have proven to be one of the best, and they're gonna be facing that midfield of the side of Aston Villa that has the likes of Douglas Luiz's into it. So that is it, but I anticipate this double pivot to really make wonders into today's game, and they're going to be the reason as to why we are going to really win this beautiful game of football. And we need to shock the side of Aston Villa, and we need to send them back to where they deserve to be, because trust me, a season has been really bad for the club of Man United because of the injuries that we had, and post-injury we are looking great because these players are really back. Alejandro Garnacho, right attacking side of the midfield, and that is really great to have a player like him really playing into that position. And he's a brace goal scorer. In the previous game we played against what was the side's name, against West Ham, and he could have gone ahead to get himself an assist if at all Rasmus Højlund went ahead to convert that, meaning that we are waiting to see how far it's really gonna go for the side of Garnacho. Can he get himself a goal or an assist? I would love to see him get both, but if at all he can get one of those, the better. But I would prefer an assist. Though, if a goal came in through, it would be really great to take his stretch to 8, because he now has 7 goals in the season of Man United and is just 3 goals away from really hitting a double figure for the very first time in his life ever since he commenced playing for the club of Manchester United. Then on the left, Marcus Rashford returns to the starting 11 of Man United for the 2 consecutive times, having gone ahead to miss out on the game of Newport, where he was suspended by Erik ten Hag and punished, fined a salary of £650,000 a week for going to Basfeld in Northern Ireland, where he came back and lied that he's ill, and the media had already gone ahead to obviously capture him, as photos followed up being released the next day. So last game of West Ham, he had chances to score and who never really composed. The composure was really lacking, but this time round I think he needs to relax better to obviously score. And in a game like this, I think Ten Hag is going to really use the pace of Rashford, Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund like he did at the side of Old Trafford, because this time round they are going to really open up more than they did at Old Trafford. Remember, the first 2 goals that we scored to equalize the game were through what we call beating that highline press of Aston Villa. Then Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. You really believe he has been getting assists in the previous 2 games we played? He had an assist against West Ham, and even when we are playing against it was which side? I think West Ham, right? Sorry, Wolverhampton Wanderers. He really had an assist, meaning that he can really get us a goal and an assist in this game too. So one of those will be very important. But I would love to see him really release Rasmus Højlund this time around. You know, I want him to release. I don't want to see him making those passes to this side. Ball distribution to that side that results into counterattacks and really crosses in, good. But I want to see him as a number 10, really looking at Rasmus Højlund and really reading his runs like a book and releasing him more often. That's what I'm really praying for him to obviously go ahead and really do more often. For Rasmus Højlund, in the previous 4 Premier League games, has gone ahead to obviously get himself a goal, and I anticipate that this is the moment for him to get himself another chance to really get going by scoring in goals after goals. He has assists, he has goals. His tally is at already 10, in this season only. Is it 10 or 8? He has 4 Premier League goals, and he has 1 goal in the FA Cup. Add those to the 5 he scored in the Champions League. That takes his tally to how many goals? 10. He's having 10, and he's still having 10 to go to really hit the magic number of 20 I really talked about. And I think today he's going to really continue to really get that record further. Remember, Ronaldo was the youngest player to score in 4 consecutive games of Man United. To score in 3 consecutive games. In 4 consecutive games for the club of Man United. And he was just 21 years of age. But Rasmus Højlund was really younger. And he went ahead to provide assists and goals. And he has gone ahead to break that Cristiano Ronaldo record. He first broke that of goals and assists. And here he comes to break that of goals also. So today is still another chance for him to stretch further that record and really score in what we call 5 consecutive Premier League games. And I think he's on fire. And if you ask me, who of those am I really expecting him to score goals? It's none other than this guy. I really believe he's going to come in through and really put in a very huge shift into the beautiful game of football. And today might be a Rasmus day, a Rasmus Højlund day, where he can even walk away with a hat-trick. That is it. It's a day that you don't rule out for him, that he can even score a hat-trick and really get going. Now, let's go to the side of Aston Villa, and see how they're really going to look into this beautiful game that sums up the match day, that sums up the second last game of the match day 23, I think. 23, 24, I think 24. And tomorrow, Chelsea is going to be playing Crystal Palace. Now, Martinez is in goal. We know how good he is, but if you really go at him, he'll obviously find himself losing composure and will lose out. So all we need to do is that we should direct very many shots at this guy, and then the rest will leave it for the ball, either to cross the line or not to cross the line. So Matt Cash is going to play as the right back, meaning that he's going to be facing Marcus Rashford, and I think Rashford can beat Cash. That is it. But even Rashford should track back and really stop him from bringing those crosses, because we know how good he is when it comes to really getting into the final third and really putting in deadly crosses as a right back. So he's really deadly. We need to look at it very well. Moreno, very good left back going forward, but I think defensively is really suspect, and Garnacho has a chance to obviously take him on. Garnacho is a right forward that is going to hit to realize his potential on the right this season, and every time he's going to hit on the right, he is going to hit to create very many goals and put in his goals too. Remember, he scored a brace against Aston Villa at Old Trafford, and here we come to see whether he can continue to score more against them at the Villa Park. But I think it's really going to be an avenue for him, if at all we will release him on time, because he's really good. He makes good runs off the ball, and we just have to keep him going and keep that positivity in. Then Diego Carlos on the right side of the central defense and Lenglet on the left side of the central defense. I think Rasmus Højlund can boss these people. I know this guy, Diego Carlos, having what we call a very, 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 very huge physique. Fast player, good defender, by the way, brought in by Steven Gerrard. And I think his injury really saw Steven Gerrard's era come to an end at the side of Aston Villa, as Steven Gerrard never wanted to use Tuanzebe at Aston Villa because he knew to eat that he's from Man United and wouldn't like to improve a player for Man United. But Diego Carlos is back, and we know how good Diego Carlos has gonna hit to be. Lenglet on the left side of the central defense, playing at Barcelona. I think we can obviously get an avenue and really create a lot to really destabilize our enemy, and this is the time for us to go ahead and really create in a lot of attacks onto that side. Kamara and Luis Douglas, that means their double pivot is also good enough to face ours, but I think experience of Casemiro and no one matches the quality of Kobe Mainoo, meaning that we really have a lot to offer to these two, and they're going to be having Jacob Ramsey playing ahead of them. Good player. The last time we played here, he scored the third goal, and I think it's a different kind of game altogether. Remember, I told you that last season we came in through to play at the Villa Park when we are from Spain, where we went ahead to win against Real Sociedad by 1-0, scored by Garnacho. But the players were tired. This time round, it's Aston Villa that are going to hate to have a midweek encounter with Chelsea, where they were beaten by 3-1, meaning that they really used a lot of energy. Then United is going to hit to rest for 7 days. I think that's going to be good, but we should really get out these two, Kamara and Luis. If we get them out, he won't see Leon Bailey operating. Leon Bailey is going to be facing Luke Shaw, and I think it's going to be a very huge battle to watch between Leon Bailey and Luke Shaw, because Leon Bailey is really deadly, but I think Luke Shaw is the best experienced player to obviously face him today. Then McGinn, obviously being played this side, but he inverts a lot to obviously let Moreno fly onto this line. But all I want to let you know is simple. We are not going to allow this to happen. You know, Ole Watkins leading the line, man who is really scoring in goals like nothing. So Ole Watkins is going to be facing Lindelof and Harry Maguire. But I really tell you the truth. You know, he's deadly, quick and fast. But if you mark him out and cut off the supply, he's not going to really thrive into this game of football as we take on the side of Aston Villa. So it comes to my mind that a win is ours. I just feel that we are going to kill off this game and win it, and no one is going to stop us from really getting a win. I just feel it. Because when you look at the bench of Man United, we are having Sofiane Amrabat. He can come on and change the game. Christian Eriksen can come on and change the game. Amad Diallo can come on and change the game. Anthony can come on and change the game. Scott McTominay can come on and change the game. And Amori Fosun can come on through and really change the game. When you look at the side of Aston Villa, I think Yudi Tielemans can change the game. Moussa Diaby can change the game. Nicolo Zaniolo can come on and change the game. Even Morgan Rogers can come on and really change the game. So we are waiting to see who is going to really utilize his chances. That is it, because when they came in through at Old Trafford, the 2 goals they scored were really gifts. We really defended very badly those set pieces and we conceded. But I don't think we are going to do the same mistakes. We are missing Lisandro Martinez, but I think Rafael Varane being into that mix with Luke Shaw and Casemiro, that experience is enough to give us the result that we want at the club of Man United. I'm having Amokule Bernard. Good evening, bro. I'm a Ugandan watching you live from Qatar, and thanks for your updates. Thank you for obviously watching in through, and I also enjoyed being here and really talking to you guys. But let's obviously end this live poll and see how you guys have gone ahead to vote. 88% have called in for win. They've gone ahead to call in for win for the team of Man United. All right. Aston Villa 8%, 2% draw. That is 98%, meaning that the 2% are undecided on whether United will win or lose, or Aston Villa will win or lose. So guys, I think we've gone ahead to call it a day, and I'm here to tell you that I sign out. See you later, and we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The Muslim is Barakallahu Fikum gonna return when this game of football is done and dusted with the match preview, right? After that, we'll proceed to the Rokani Media Football to obviously bring you what we call the AFCON final down in Ivory Coast. Hope you guys are fine. 5-finger salute to everyone watching in through. I love you, and thank you for obviously keeping it this channel. And one love, keep being Mossy.